When I first clicked publish on Amazon KDP, I had no idea what it was that I was walking into. I thought the hard part was over. I had written the book, I revised until I was sick of it, and I designed the cover. I figured that was it, right? But then I saw the dashboard, the ISBNs, trim sizes, royalties, keywords, categories, pricing strategies. It all hit me at once. I realized that writing the book was only half the battle. And then over the past few years, particularly when I was writing One Epic Year and all of its spin-offs, I've learned the ins and outs. I've made mistakes, I've fixed them, I learned from them, and I've built systems to make it smoother. KDP is both the easiest and the absolute trickiest platform you'll ever have to deal with as an indie author. It's easy because anybody can upload a file and it will be there and live, ready for people to buy it within 72 hours. It's tricky because your success depends solely on your own understanding of how the system works. So stick around because I'm going to lay it all out for you. Everything that I wish I knew before my first book way back in 2017 to everything that I've learned prior to the release of my new books, One Epic Year. So what exactly is Amazon KDP? So first let's define it. Amazon KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing. It's just Amazon's self-publishing arm. It's what lets us get ebooks, paperbacks and hardcovers into a global market. The advantages are huge. You keep total control over the rights of your book, and it's fast. You can upload today and be selling by the end of the week. And the royalties, 70% on ebooks and 60% on paperbacks. But there's a few complications to that, which I'll go into later. When I put One Epic Year out on Kindle in April 2025, it was a complete game changer. I didn't have to wait years for some publishing house to say that it's good enough, because if I'd have waited for a traditional publishing deal, it may never have happened. So, setting up your account. Step one is just heading to kdp.amazon.com and setting up your account. You'll need your bank details and your tax information. So when I signed up, I really underestimated how much time I'd end up spending on the tax side of things. Specifically that W8BEN form for selling in the US, which you'd think isn't that important given that I'm in the UK, but don't fucking rush this part. Get it right first time and your royalties will actually arrive on time instead of getting stuck into some tax limbo. And it's something that you will have to keep updating periodically as well. Choosing ebook, paperback or hardcover. So KDP gives you three main paths. You've got ebooks for global reach and no printing costs. Paperbacks, which are print on demand. It's great, meaning you don't have to spend the costs of printing them yourselves and then storing them in your garage. And then you've got hardcover, which is a little bit pricier, but great for collectors. For One Epic Year, I did all three. The Kindle version at $9.99, the paperback at $14.99, and the hardcover at $19.99. None of this is set in stone. I took a long time pricing those, and those prices have changed. They've gone up, they've gone down ever since. Again, that's another wonderful thing about using Amazon KDP. I've got control of all the pricing. ISBNs, free or purchased. Now, the ISBN. Amazon offer free ones for paperbacks and hardcovers, and I used them for my trilogy because my strategy was very Amazon focused from the start. But here's the thing. It's renting versus owning. Exclusivity versus going wide. Amazon's free ISBN ties you to their platform. If you want to go wide, meaning selling through bookstores or Ingram Sparks later on, buying your own is probably the smarter move purely for flexibility. Actually, before I get into the nitty-gritty of dashboards and the money side of things, if you're finding this useful, I'd really appreciate it if you can give this video a like. And if you want more honest guidance and advice when it comes to self-publishing, make sure you hit that subscribe channel. It really helps me know that I'm not just talking to my fucking self. Manuscript and cover uploads. So uploading books is the easy bit. It's the details that will really get you. For One Epic Year Book 1, I used something called Atticus that really helped me with formatting. It let me create both ebook and print ready files with a consistent look. It was a hell of a learning curve, but it was worth it to get that polished professional feel for the book itself. Then there's the covers. Years ago I did it myself, and that was a major mistake. I quickly realized that readers do judge a book by its cover. I ended up commissioning custom illustrations for the trilogy and kept the fonts and logos consistent throughout. This branding built recognition as the series continues to go. And a little tip, use the previewer tool every single time, every single upload, check every single page. For my trilogy, I did this after learning many years ago through various mistakes, and I caught no end of mistakes even after editing and revision and other people's designs and formatting. That would have been hella embarrassing if they'd actually gone to public. Categories and keywords. When I started way back in 2017, I published a book. I'm not even going to name it because it's so shit. I picked the categories on the dashboard that just kind of sounded right, and the books just got buried instantly. By the time I was ready for my latest, I actually researched the categories properly and thoroughly. I looked at where similar books were ranking on Amazon and then requested the categories through Author Central. For keywords, stop using like single words like thriller. Use tail phrases. I use things like sci-fi thriller with time travel, genre blending British mystery. That's how readers actually search. That's what they put into the search bar at the top of the web page. And when I did, my traffic massively improved. So think about what term you would type into a search bar to find your book. Pricing and royalties. Now let's talk about getting paid. Pricing is part science, part gut instinct. For One Epic Year, I went with $9.99 for the Kindle version, and that's quite high for an indie, to be fair, but I justified it to myself because it was a long book, and I was also on Kindle Unlimited as well, which I'll talk about in a bit. On ebooks, if you price between $2.99 and $9.99, you get 70% royalties. Anything lower than that, and it halves to 35%. Paperbacks are a completely different kettle of fish because not only do you have to take into account Amazon's cut, you also have to think about printing costs as well. Amazon updated their print royalties back in June 2025. So for paperbacks under $9.99, your royalty is now 50%. If you price above that, it's 60%. With that and printing costs, I was clearing around about £5 per sale. That's both on paperback and hardcover as well. I was worried that readers wouldn't want to spend $14.99 for a paperback from an indie author, but to my surprise, they did. If your book looks professional, readers aren't going to care if it was done by an indie author or Penguin. They just want a good story. So KDP Select versus going wider with your distribution. This is a tough one. I went with KDP at launch, which means my ebook is exclusive to Amazon for 90 days. It gave me access to Kindle Unlimited, where I got paid per page read. And it also allowed me tools to do Kindle countdown deals or free offers. One of the biggest perks of staying with KDP Select is the Kindle Unlimited. It's essentially Netflix, but for books. Readers pay a monthly subscription and then they're able to borrow the book and they can read as much as they want. Now, as an author, there's no flat sale fee here. Instead, you get paid for every single page the reader flips through. For one epic year, this was a massive engine for growth. So even when the direct sales and the orders were reduced, I would look at the dashboard and see the page reads ticking up. And that ended up providing a slow but also steady income stream. It's a brilliant way to build a fan base, particularly if you're starting out. But it does come with some strategic trade-offs when we're talking exclusivity. I think what I'll do is I'll go a little bit more into that in a future video, so make sure you subscribe so you know when that's coming out. So Amazon A+ content. A+ content is one of the most overlooked parts of marketing that you'll ever see when it comes to KDP. So you know when you're looking at a big author's Amazon page and you see those banners and the categories and all of the images, comparison charts in the middle of the listing itself, that's A+ content. For one epic year, I created custom graphics side by side showing all three books together. It instantly made my page look a little bit more professional. Now, readers don't consciously go, oh, that's some good A+ marketing, but they do trust you a little bit more. And if your page looks professional, they'll end up paying professional prices for your book. So marketing on Amazon. So publishing is the easy part. The hardest part is actually selling the books. And I learned 3 truths from my past failures. Number 1, reviews are like oxygen. So build an ARC team and get honest reviews. You can do this before it even launches if you set your book to pre-order. Second, ads are experiments. I tested Amazon ads with very small budgets to see what sticks. But before you spend any money at all, research the hell out of it because you may not even have to use it. 3, momentum matters. For book 2 of my trilogy, I coordinated Instagram teasers, giveaways of book 1, email countdowns. That push really helped climb up the charts. So the pros and cons of KDP. Is KDP perfect? Fuck no. But the pros are obvious. Global reach, no upfront costs, and you're in control of your work. The cons are very, very real though. It's competitive as hell out there. The ever-changing algorithms are unpredictable at best. One day you're a bestseller, the next you're invisible. And if you go with KDP Select for the KU page reads, you're tied to that platform. For me though, the pros to KDP won out overall. My trilogy simply wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for KDP. It's a platform that rewards consistency. Releasing the trilogy so close together kept the momentum alive and actually boosted each book's sales when the next one came out. So the lessons I learned from one epic year. If I could boil it down, it would be to treat this as a business rather than a hobby. Presentation is everything, and keywords are your silent salesman. Readers will pay a premium for options like hardcovers, and consistency is key. Releasing books 2 and 3 of my trilogy, it actually kept readers engaged and kept book 1 selling throughout the campaign as well. So KDP really has leveled the playing field, really. I went from having a weird, timey-wimey, genre-jumping idea that I didn't see anywhere else to having books available worldwide. And that feeling is amazing. It's not a golden ticket. Success comes from understanding the platform and planning your strategy. So if you're going to publish your book this year, you can do this. Learn the system, invest in the presentation, and think long term, because your book deserves better than a good enough launch date. And so do you.